Given the list that Best Picture nominees usually have, it is super cool to know a Best Picture winner and know the competition that it had. Especially for this movie right here, its biggest competition is widely known as the scariest movie ever made, The Exorcist. Does this movie stand up over The Exorcist? I gotta say, yeah, it totally does. This movie is called The Sting, and The Sting takes place during the Great Depression, so money is kind of a big issue with this movie and all such. It stars Paul Newman and Robert Redford. Robert Redford plays a guy. His partner, basically, in the very beginning of the movie, pretends he's being robbed. They knew the robber. The robber was going along with it and all such. There's this banker that walks out with money. He needs to take it from one bank to another. I don't know how that works, but you know. Well, anyway, it looks like a robbery took place, and they stopped him from stealing his partner's wallet, and the banker says that he can get his money where he needs to go, because apparently Robert Redford's friend, if I'm explaining this correctly, Robert Redford's friend needed to get his money to a certain place that they needed to go to. Now, the banker does not know that these two know each other and all such, but Robert Redford tells him, all right, all you got to do, because you can't slip it in your pocket, they'll know that it's there. So you got to use your pants. Just stick it down your pants and all such. You're going to have to give me all the money you have on you, otherwise they're going to take that. So he takes that, put it in his pants, because he's basically telling him that the thief that tried to rob Robert Redford's partner is probably around the corner just waiting for them to show up and all such. He said, just stick it down your pants and then you'll be fine. Pulls out the bag, gives it to him, so the banker sticks it down his pants, goes off into a taxi and all such. And he said, all right, where's this location? It's that way, sir. All right, take me the other way. And he's just in the background smiling, saying, I just made the world's easiest money. And then he just pulls out the bag and all such, and it's a bunch of cloths and everything. That twist was the very beginning of this movie. I did not see it coming. If I actually explain it correctly, correct me if I'm wrong. But it really does set the stage. You're just going to be thinking, yeah, I did not see that coming. I'm going to be watching this from till the very end. And I'm so glad I did. This movie has the twists, the turns, the friendships, the revenge, and all that such. Especially when Paul Newman finally meets Robert Redford's character for the first time. He is passed out, drunk, right beside his bed. Robert Redford drags him to the bathtub, sprays cold water in his face, and Paul Newman says, well, nice to meet you, kid. You're a real horse's ass. So, you really connect to these guys very much. Well, anyway, they want to pull this thing called the Sting on this really rich guy. It's like to scam like half a million dollars out of him. I'm not going to give you a spoiler on why, because you got to watch this movie in order to see that and all such. Now, $500,000 doesn't sound like a lot of money. It may sound like a lot of money for a lot of people nowadays, but during the Great Depression, that's like a gold mine. Really, that is. And all such. And that's what they want to pull off in the entire movie. The whole movie is on how they try to make this little sting, how they are able to get this money without being noticed. And it's a very clever movie. I really enjoyed it. So does it really stand up right next to The Exorcist when it came out the very same year? Well, The Exorcist did have its moments, but The Sting just has a little bit more, shall we say. It has a little bit more clever writing, if I'm explaining this correctly. You see, for The Exorcist, that stuff that no one has ever really seen before, this movie is a step up because of clever writing, great acting, and absolutely shocking moments in it. And that's what really makes this movie stand out. Now, it may not be the best Picture winner I've ever seen, and all such. There are some moments in this movie where I'm thinking, okay, why did that happen? And all such, because Robert Redford gets in this relationship with a girl, and that whole scenario when it finally wraps up, I'm thinking, why was that in this movie? Why was it in this movie? And there is also a scene where Paul Newman pulls on one of his little cheating tricks during a game of cards, where he basically has all threes, but it turns into jacks like mid-shot and all such. The whole time I'm thinking, how did you do that? How did you do that? But anyway, guys, I gotta say, it's still a very enjoyable movie. I liked it a lot. For me, it is a little bit better than The Exorcist, because although The Exorcist is credited as the scariest movie of all time, I see a whole lot of possession movies that it's not really that scary anymore. But I'll get to that review later on, so you get to hear more about that. But anyway, The Sting is definitely great. I love the acting in this movie. I love the writing. Apart from a few things that really did not need to be in the movie and a lot of things that was not explained, it still stands out as a very good movie. So I gotta say, it is still worth watching at least once. So guys, The Sting, have you seen it? What did you think of it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.